So Ubisoft announced that they're going to be making more free-to-play type experiences and fewer AAA games. It doesn't sound great on paper, but let's talk about this a little bit more. Okay, so when you're initially hearing this, you think, okay, so we're never going to get AAA experiences anymore. It just means you're going to get less of it, I think, because basically on paper, what they're saying is games like Riders Republic and Just Dance have higher or the same revenue expectations as their major single player experiences. So they can dump all this money into a game like Assassin's Creed or a game like, what's another one? Far Cry. But at the end of the day, they can dump a lot fewer resources into a game like Just Dance and have the same, if not better, return on those experiences. So for me, that reading between the lines there, it sounds like they're going to be doing less of the AAA experiences. They will still be doing them, but just less of them and more free to play. And here's the thing, the industry has been moving towards this standard for years. One of the very first videos I made on this channel was me saying, hey, if you don't stop buying microtransactions and all these skins and dumb things, this is where the industry is going. I made that video in 2015, and here we are. Hi, everybody. Here's Past Destin warning you about what's going to happen.
Well, this trend is only going to continue unless you start voting with your wallet.
Yeah, so anyway, so that's what's happened, and it's come to fruition because everybody plays these games. You want to get that cool knife in Apex Legends, you want to get that cool skin in Rainbow Six, and on the note of Rainbow Six, that game it's just a major hit for Ubisoft. If you think about how many resources they put into Rainbow Six and the return on investment there, it's just astronomical. So for me, this just means I'm just giving up hope on ever seeing a Splinter Cell. We're going to get Splinter Cell, and it's going to be like Splinter Cell Battle Royale or something at this rate. That's like where my expectation bar is currently. We've also heard that games like Skull and Bones are delayed to 2022, probably so they can make it more free-to-play, even though they might have even announced that was free-to-play. It's just not a game that I personally really care about, so I haven't been following. But what about the rest of the industry? Well, EA sales also revealed that only 20% of their sales come from traditional sales. So for me, when I read this, I'm like, Ubisoft, you're saying out loud the part you're supposed to whisper, right? So this was from a Jeff Keighley tweet. 26% of EA revenue came from premium game sales. The rest was from live service, DLC, mobile, and you guessed it, microtransactions, because you got to have that cool Apex skin, right? You just can't help yourself, can you? And I get it. They have really, really cool skins, but that does come at a cost because at the end of the day, these major businesses want your money, right? Yes, there's the artistic aspect, and yes, I'm sure the designers and the developers want to make fantastic experiences, but they have a bottom line and they have shareholders to reach out to. But all is not lost. Don't worry. I think personally, this opens up the market for other people to enter. And let's just look at a few of the games that I wrote down. Tunic, made by one person. It offers people like him the chance to make experiences like that. We have Hellblade from Ninja Theory coming right around the corner. That was a single player experience for Hellblade 1. Hellblade 2, I'm sure, is going to be more of the same. We have Avowed. That seems like it's going to be a traditional RPG. Smaller games like Chorus looks really, really cool. Space exploration. Stalker 2, we don't really know what that's going to be, but that seems like a AAA single player experience by a studio focused on making great experiences. 12 minutes. Indiana Jones from Bethesda. Ratchet and Clank, going down the Sony list, we have Ratchet and Clank, Horizon, God of War, Forspoken, and Final Fantasy 16 around the corner. So I wouldn't worry so much about EA and Ubisoft and probably Activision's strategy with games going forward. I mean, if you look at games like Anthem, that was their opportunity to get in on a mega cash cow, and they just massively dropped the ball. It didn't happen, and they actually pulled the plug on it. And that is EA. But we have a new Battlefield, so I imagine they're going to be figuring out ways to get you signing on every week. So, elaborating on what Ubisoft actually said, here's a quote from an article on IGN. Okay, interesting. I've never heard of this site. We said for a number of years that our normal template is to come with either 3 or 4 AAA games, so we'll stick to that plan for fiscal 2022, said CEFO Frederick Duguet. But we see that we are progressively, continuously moving from a model that used to be only focused on AAA releases to a model where we have a combination of strong releases from AAA and strong back catalog dynamics, but also complementing our program of new releases with free to play and other premium experiences. But for the free to play experiences, they are talking about games that will have a AAA element, but focused around free to play. They're trying to say, like, oh, don't worry. So in fiscal 2022, we will continue our evolution from a AAA release centric model towards a model where AAA stands alongside new premium and free to play innovative experiences across platforms. These diverse experiences will feed on each other throughout complementary gameplay and business models. So, yeah, I mean, I hope you like Just Dance, and I hope you like Rainbow Six is, I don't think you understand. They do tournaments. They, are constantly adding skins to that game. And that engine, they have Rainbow Six Quarantine coming out soon enough. And that engine was built years ago. So they've just been able to iterate on this one game and constantly rake in the cash. And when you're a company like Ubisoft and you're looking at that, it's like, okay, so we've dumped what, $50 million into Beyond Good and Evil, and we're getting all this flack for it. Like, okay, let's just release like 4 new Rainbow Six skins and make up that money. And that just seems like how it's working. And whether or not we like that as gamers, it sort of also points to the problem where we're buying this stuff. The only way that you can speak to devs beyond yelling at them on Twitter is with your wallet, right? So yeah, you can tell them, hey, I want a Days Gone sequel. But when Days Gone just didn't sell, there's a challenge there for them, because they're like, well, nobody's going to buy this game. You want us to invest. Companies can't just invest because we love properties. They also have to know that they're going to have a return on their investment of time and people and resources and everything. Because if your return is negative dollars, that's not good for them, and that's not good for the future of your beloved franchise, right? It's really, really, it's just surreal to go back and watch the first video I ever did on this channel. It was called Breaking the News. It was a format similar to this. It's basically, this is the evolution of that video. But I break down statistics and just say, hey, if you don't like this, you need to stop buying skins and microtransactions and things like that. And then here we are today. So really, and I say this with much pain, we're to blame. Maybe not you specifically, but just gamers just like cool stuff, and we buy it. It's why I have never spent a single dollar on microtransactions in Destiny. It's not a model I want to see continue. I prefer, like, one thing I cannot fault Sony on is their phenomenal AAA story experiences. I don't think anybody could ever fault them on that. And if you do, you're an insane person, right? They create some of the best AAA standard gameplay experiences on the market right now, and it's one of their biggest strengths. And I hope, and a lot of people have pointed out that doesn't seem to be detracting from their indie presence, but I think that's why people were so concerned, because if that's all they're going to make, that's good, but we also want a little bit of variety. Meanwhile, EA and Ubisoft are going the other direction. They're like, yeah, I hope you like free to play, because we're going to be really focusing on that. And sure, you're going to have your AAA experiences through 2022, but then after that, I mean, expect more Rainbow Six stuff. And I don't necessarily think that's negative. Like I said, I think it opens up the playing field a little bit more, and games are getting easier and easier to create. One person was making Tunic for a lot of years. If you think about Bright Memory Infinite, that was made largely by, repurposing assets to create a product. So or at least that's what I've heard through the grapevine. But those are great games, right? I think it just means we get fewer of those experiences from the people that are focused on the bottom line, and more of those experiences from people that are just looking to tell amazing stories. Hopefully, Sony Santa Monica continues on that trend, and hopefully when we start seeing the titles from Xbox Game Studios, they are also backing that up. That's what I want. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like these late night rambles. My name's Destin. Hi everybody. I think you already know who I am, but if you don't and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? You can hit that bell. You can subscribe. I do one of these every day. Sometimes I record a few in a row. I recorded 2 this night. And yeah, I hope you like them. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. The channel has seen explosive growth. It's surreal. I don't understand it, but I appreciate it, and I always will. Memberships are also turned on. Memberships are a thing YouTube offers to content creators where you can support them directly. Thank you so much to everybody who has chosen to do that. I genuinely appreciate the support. I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.